Welcome to Classtime live stream. Today we have a very special guest with us to have a conversation about our brand new curriculum content Story World. We are joined today by Cynthia Harrison Barbera, CEO of Story World. I'm also joined today by Valentin, CEO of Classtime, which is also very good news. Hi, Cynthia. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Maria. Good to be here. Thank you.
Yes, hi Cynthia. Great to
Okay.
see you.
And hi,
We've been
Val.
working together. Yes, absolutely. We've been
And
working together on setting up this curriculum. So I'm really excited to have you here too, Cynthia.
thank
And I
you.
think, our educators are curious to learn about Storyworld and what's behind it and make sure that everyone fully understands how great Storyworld really is and how excited I personally also am about setting up this partnership. So I think the first question we'd all be curious to understand is really like, why did you start Storyworld?
Well, thanks so much for this opportunity to be together. The Seeds of Story World, which teaches language and literacy through stories,
Mhm,
were planted long ago. My mother came to the United States as a refugee,
mhm,
and her third language was English. So I grew up in a family where language and literacy really mattered.
mhm,
I taught language learners overseas in China, and I just could not find good materials, especially compelling stories that would energize them and would help them really learn the language in a way that they loved it. Um, and then finally, even though I worked for years at Scholastic,
uh,
my own son was grew up as a reluctant reader. And
mhm.
so I wound up needing to throw just about everything I knew from as a mother, as an educator, and as a daughter into Story World. And that really was the genesis, and we're seeing wonderful results.
Wow. So when was that? When did you start it?
Oh, I started about 8 years ago, but it takes a
Oh,
while to
wow.
build a good
Yes.
ed tech company.
Great. And I know there's, a lot of foundation to it and a lot went behind, starting it and obviously evolving and improving Story World over the time. So maybe, you could tell us a bit more about the science, behind Story World.
I'd love to. Storyworld was built on a solid foundation of
Hmm.
research and cognitive science that we know works. It's interesting to start. Our brain is wired for stories. We
Hmm.
grew up learning through oral stories. And so it turns out stories leave us with memories that other ways of communicating don't. Another thing about stories is, and ours certainly, is we have a lot of visual clues. And visual clues have been demonstrated and researched to conjure up memories, and we put those together with words and phrases. Um, Finally, we bring a lot of audio
Hmm.
to the experience. Um, Language is learned sort of automatically. We naturally can learn language, but literacy has to be taught. And when we can marry the two, the auditory that we're naturally equipped to learn as
Hmm.
old people, and the literary experience, which is matching the words and the sounds with the printed word. It's a very powerful way to build languages. A little bit more. We know
Hmm.
that language learners do better when they go from the home language to the target language. And we do that with scaffolds, word by word scaffolds, and also translations in context. We do it with Spanish and Mandarin, but we also have introduced languages from Arabic to Vietnamese and others in between so that we provide those language scaffolds. Another thing we do is we approach language and literacy from all four modalities. All children need practice
Hmm.
in all modalities. So we do
Hmm.
that with outcomes reported through a dashboard that is standard aligned.
Hmm.
And the third is that we know that children succeed better when their families are involved. The
Hmm.
research is unquestionable there. And so we provide for some opportunities for families to get the program as easily as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wonderful. I mean, personally also spent plenty of time going through Storyworld stories, and it really is remarkable how every audio file, has been recorded, is nicely narrated. All the images, right, hand drawn. I'll show that in a second. But there's a lot of effort and a lot of depth to it that I really appreciate. That really excited me about working together with Storyworld. But in terms of, you've been working on this for 8 years now, what are some of the results that you are seeing, or teachers are seeing, schools and districts are seeing from students who do use Storyworld?
Well, that's the point at the end, isn't it?
Yes.
And we're pleased to say that, first of all, the program was developed with 3 years of research with WestEd, which is the nation's #1 research company, funded with 2 grants from the U.S. Department of Education, who recognized the need to do what we do. The result of the research is that Storyworld is at the top in terms of engagement. Students just loved it. When given the choice in all 3 of our research rounds, they were given the choice of any other ed tech product, and not one student picked another product. All of them wanted to do 2, 3 stories. Happily, we discovered also they collaborated on answering answering the questions, and so it engendered a lot of collaboration as well. In terms of what we've observed also, we have taken non-readers and non-speakers to literacy fluency and reading fluency in 9 months. I've seen that myself, and this is why teachers keep coming back. It's because the program is engaging, the kids enjoy it, they want to participate, so their mind is open to learning, and it turns out it works.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think it goes all the way, right, from student all the way to superintendents, I've heard. So there's a award you've just won with your fantastic product. So congratulations on that. Maybe you want to share a few words about your latest award. Yes.
Very proud of it. This is the Superintendent's Award for Literacy Instructional Solutions for 2001 or 2021. We just won it. This was a very crowded field, as I understand, with many, many other programs vying for this literacy award. The superintendents who gathered to review it felt that there's very little to support struggling readers, reluctant readers, and particularly language learners. And because we provide all the audio scaffolds, even in English, they felt that we merited this great distinction. So I'm very proud of it. Thank you.
And I share that feeling. So when I first spoke to Cynthia about Storyworld and I saw all the work that had gone into it, I was very excited that she was open to collaborating with us on a curriculum. And as loyal and fellow class timers, I'd like to quickly highlight that a limited series of Storyworld's stories are available on Classtime. That is currently both in English and in Spanish. So you can really use both languages. As you see, we have all these different cues, like audio cues, the images. All of these are the hand-drawn images from Storyworld. And then obviously students can answer these questions straight away in Classtime and get that data as well. So if you are a Classtime user, definitely check out our curriculum page. It's $25 per teacher account per year to subscribe to all of the stories that you get here. So it's a great collection. However, if you do want more and you also want some more sophisticated analytics focused exactly on Storyworld stories and more languages such as Mandarin, I strongly recommend visiting storyworld.us, which you will also find in the link description below, or when you are on Classtime's curriculum page, always on the right-hand side, where it clearly says that the question sets found here are a limited series, and for the full version, definitely click here to learn more about the amazing material on Storyworld.
Yeah, definitely. Me growing up as a English as a second language learner, I wish I had Storyworld in my curriculum and in my life for sure. So be sure to check it out, guys. Um, okay, I think that's all we had of questions, right, Val?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, amazing. So before we unfortunately have to this a second here. We have before we go, we have our social highlight here. As you guys can see, we are highlighting on our Twitter this week. Our Follow Friday last week was the educator Todd Finley. And here, Todd is sharing with us meaningful tips to how to develop more meaningful homeworks, assignments, and you can please, if you do have Twitter, join us on our community, follow us on Twitter. We will always be highlighting every week in a Follow Friday a new teacher, and you can be this teacher highlighted in our next Friday. And as well, you can be a part of our giveaways and other contests that we are always running there. So it's a very cool community. And as well, don't forget to follow us here on YouTube and turn on the notifications and the little bell so you'll be the first to know that we have a new live stream. Every 2 weeks, we have a new live stream, and we have a lot of cool things coming up. So let me remove this so we can all go back to our little faces here. And we would like to really thank you, Cynthia, for your time, for
Yes, thank
joining
you
us
so much.
today.
My
Yeah,
pleasure. It
it
was a
was an
delight.
amazing, yeah, for us too. It was an amazing conversation, and I'm sure a lot of people that didn't know yet about Story World will now explore, and you should because it's a very, very cool curriculum and page. So go. All the links are in our description below.
Yes, thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Maria, and see you guys all soon. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Have a good day.